Hey guys, my name is Tiara Patricia and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we go forward, don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, all the things, and go ahead and follow me on all my other social medias listed down below. So in this video, I'm going to be telling y'all how I got invited to moderate my first panel in Chicago, all by sending an email. To give you guys a little bit of background, I am a cellular biologist. I am a wet lab researcher, so I do a lot of the techniques you see on NCIS. I do PCRs, all of the little pipette things that you see on TV. And I graduated in 2021. I had a mentor at my college who's still my mentor, but as a Black person in STEM, it's really important for you to look for a mentor that looks like you. My mentor in college was a white woman, and while I definitely had an ally in her, I know to advance my career forward and to learn the ins and outs of how to navigate this field as a Black person in STEM, I needed to find somebody who looked like me and was also higher rank in my career field. So I believe I contacted about 15 people once I graduated and moved to Seattle. I've worked from Fortune 500 companies all the way to lower level startups. And in this time in Seattle, I was away from home and was really trying to figure out how I could get somebody to mentor me. I was surrounded by white people at my job. Nobody looked like me, especially in Seattle. You really have to go and not necessarily find Black people, but you have to be very intentional about making your community up there. So no one really looked like me in Seattle. No one really looked like me at the places that I was working. All of my peers were Caucasian, Hispanic. I just had actually got one person who was Black on my team, and the second he came here, I ended up leaving. So yeah, I had like one Black colleague peer for my entire 2 years in Seattle. But nonetheless, while I was up there, I just decided to start sending out emails, trying to see if there was anybody up there who would be willing to mentor me, who had the time to take somebody under their wing. And one thing to note, when you are sending out these emails, I can give y'all the email templates that I made, but it's important to kind of offer something when you're sending out these emails. To email someone and say, is there any way you could mentor me? Is there any way we could get together for coffee? Always outline, if there's any way we can have a virtual meeting or a coffee date if their schedule permits them to just take random bouts of time to go get coffee with people. But for me, it was sending out emails and letting them know I'm looking for someone who can mentor me in the aspect of creating experiment plans and navigating how they got to the places that they were. I believe I met with one woman who worked for Roche, and I simply invited her to go out and get coffee because she came to my job to give some type of presentation for Roche, and I literally stopped her on the way out and just asked her if she would be fine getting coffee with me. And lucky enough, she is an account manager for Roche, so she goes up and down the Pacific all the time, and she was in Seattle constantly. So whenever she was in the city, she'd let me know and we would go out and get coffee, and she would pretty much just talk with me. And I think a lot of people have this idea of mentorship that it has to be work, or assignments, or having to do all of these things. But sometimes mentorship is literally allowing people this space to connect and communicate and build these relationships so that when you do get to that point of really needing something, because at the time I wasn't thinking about grad school. I got into a PhD program after I graduated, but I'd been in school for 3 straight years. I did summer school. I graduated in 3 years. I did not have the mental capacity to be able to make it through another 4, possibly 5 years of grad school, of PhD school. That was just not in the cards for my health. So speaking with her and just getting an idea before I go to PhD school, I feel now speaking with her that I had this better sense of self. I had a better idea of how to look for programs that more aligned with what I wanted to do. And so I got a mentorship from her, but the mentorship that got me to speaking and moderating my first panel comes from a nonprofit organization that somehow came across my LinkedIn platform. I don't know how this nonprofit came about, and I'm not speaking to the specific nonprofit because, you know, like personal, I have to kind of, you know what I'm saying, make sure things don't get spooky. But I reached out to the founder once I saw that this was a man of color. He was Black, and he's also from Detroit. So, you know, he has an inner city connection that we both could have. I sent him an email. I don't care if you are a founder, a CEO, co-founder, COO, finance executive, strategic solutions, whatever the case may be. Do not be afraid to send people an email. You would be very surprised at how responsive or reactive they are. And even if they don't speak with you directly, the people that they can put you in contact with, you can't even imagine. So again, don't be afraid to, if you feel like they're above you, it doesn't matter. Send an email, connect with them, and just see where it goes. I've stopped following people on LinkedIn and just started like sending connections. I don't have the premium, so I've only sent like as many connections as allowed. But be intentional when you send those connections. Be peer-to-peer, be person-to-person, and you will see just how many opportunities flow for you. But nonetheless, I emailed him, and once he got my message, he responded, and I had asked him, you know, is there any way we could have a meeting, if, you know, just to speak, going back and forth. I don't ask people to pick their brains. I feel like people in those positions, their brains are picked enough. So I just asked, you know, is there any way we could virtually link up, and I'll tell you my experience and tell you, you know, what I've done, what I'm trying to do, and see how I can be an asset to you in your nonprofit for no pay. Now let me stop there. I know the second people hear no pay, your ears shut off. But give me a second. If permitted, I really want you to look into being able to do, even if it's 10 hours of work a week, that's non-paid, trying to build those connections. But I, person to person, met up with him, let him know, you know, is there anything that you need done? Is there any administrative work? Is there any, you know, content that you need to be made? I do have a specialty in making, curating content for pharmaceutical companies, for biotech companies, for their products. If there's any media needing to be made, you know, I can do it. So that got me to doing I handled his entire Black History Month post for highlighting Black people of the African diaspora who have been in STEM, who are lesser known, and highlighting them and pretty much creating an entire media forum to post their work. And I did that for him for about 2 years. I contacted him in 2022 and have been working with him ever since. Now, getting on to the part that I know you all want to know about, how did this end with me being able to moderate a panel on a program in Chicago? Well, after I've done, you know, some work for him, and my work has spoken for itself, he said, hey, I host a summit every year. It's a cancer intervention summit. We do them all over the country, you know, annually. Would you like to come and help out and also moderate the panel? I will cover your flight. I will cover your hotel. I'll reimburse you for your flight and for your hotel. But if you come, you know, just do a little bit of help with check-in. You can, you know, make sure all the speakers and everything feel comfortable. But, you know, would you come? And I think once my work spoke for itself, and once I made it clear to him that I am somebody to be taken seriously and that I am an asset all on my own, he invited me to speak at this panel. And I'll even put some pictures below that. Yeah, that's me. That's me speaking. It's me speaking. But all in all, I will say, if you are someone who is looking to expand your interests, expand your experience, your talents, whatever the case may be, my step-by-step would be, 1, to start by emailing people and being intentional about making a list of people you would like to connect with, whether that's on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. Make a list of about 5 nonprofits that kind of align with what you want to do if you're in STEM. emailing founders, co-founders, letting them know that you would like to share your experience with them, that you'd be willing to do, a little bit of work that they need, whatever help with the project that they need, and offering your assistance. Now, you would be surprised with how much stuff they have on their plate. You could end up writing grants to Fortune 500 companies. You can end up having to coordinate meetings with top stakeholders for this company. Like, the way nonprofit founders are in such a bind when it comes to work that they have to do and the resources they have to actually hire people. I don't want to say necessarily take advantage, but take advantage of it. You will be doing work that can go on your resume. Two would be to make the most of your meetings. Make it very, very clear what you have to offer, what you could be looking for out of this mentorship, and being very clear with your expectations as far as how much work you're willing to do that's non-paid. And on the flip side, you'd be very surprised how many paid open positions, even if it's part-time, even it's being $20 an hour, side part-time position you could be doing to gain experience and also be getting some type of supplementation. 3, making sure that whatever you say you're going to do, you do it. Oftentimes when we make these connections, we just think of it as a hobby, as a one-off, and to a degree, yes. Like, if you're working and you're still going to school and you have other responsibilities, it's totally understandable. But making sure when it comes to these connections that you're doing what you say you're going to do, and which is why I lowball what I can do for them and then over deliver the performance, and that makes an impact. But just being really intentional about the work you do and making sure that it speaks to your work ethic, because people do talk. And 4, I think number 4, I've already lost count. But lastly, I would also just say to keep your options open, to be very open-minded about what comes your way. Oftentimes we have an idea when we graduate that we want to do these things, or we want to go into this field, we want to be in this specific position, and that's fine. That's awesome to have goals, but also know the older that you get and the deeper into your field you get, you're going to be exposed to a wide range of opportunities and different pathways that you maybe didn't know about when you first graduated. And it's really important to keep an open mind and be a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more open to what could come your way. I keep saying open, but that's the only word that's coming to my mind. But being a little bit more willing to do things maybe outside of your comfort zone and to build that palette of discipline and work ethic, and you would be very surprised the opportunities that went your way. But yeah, my birthday was Halloween, and this was honestly a big moment for me. It was the 25th to the 26th. It was 2 days of helping out. I was gone from about 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. And the rest of the time I was exploring Chicago with my love and some friends I met along the way. And I met a lot of people that hopefully will be able to help continue me on my journey. But yes, so don't forget again to like, follow, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.